gentlemen, welcome along to another customer review from us, and this time we're out with this fella here, Mr. Peter Houseman, farmer and contractor, and we're talking all about this machine here, an Abimac front-mounted twin rotor rake. So Peter, before we get stuck into this rake, I mean, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your business.
We farm a little farm at Bolton Percy. We have 80 head of suckler cows. I have a little bit of arable, and then when I've got nothing else better to do, I go off mucking about with potatoes, leading corn, baling straw for various farmers around the locality.
And then this particular rig that we see behind us here, obviously with the front rake, the tractor and the baler, is this part of a bit of a contracting business for you, or are you mainly doing your own stuff with this, or what's the story?
Predominantly my own. It's really, I got fed up of being reliant on other people and begging and borrowing machinery, and wanted to be in control of getting my silage when I wanted to get it, rather than relying on other people, which everybody wants the machine at the same day, same time. So we had a look around and we decided to get an orange front rake. So
I mean, tell us about this. I mean, before we get stuck into this rake, I mean, just tell us about the baling rig as well, the tractor and the baler that you've got here behind us.
I've had the tractor 5 years now, I think. Bought it second hand with a view to the potato work that we do, planting and harvesting potatoes. It's a bit luxurious, but I'm getting old and I need a bit of comfort in my old age.
It's going to spoil yourself.
Exactly. And the baler is an update from our old John Deere 592, which was getting a bit long in the tooth and a little bit out of date.
So how many bales would you typically do in a season?
We do about 1,000 round bales of silage at home, probably 2,000 to 3,000 of straw for a neighbour and our own, and then if I can do a little bit of contracting to help pay the bills, then I will do.
That's it.
So,
and what sort of area would you cover when you go baling?
Not very far. My neighbour's quite keen to keep blackgrass out of his farm, so we both rogue our corn to keep blackgrass at bay, and I don't want to bring any weeds from anywhere else back to his farm or to mine for that matter. So we are quite selective of where we go. Right,
so let's get onto this rake then. Obviously, it's front mounted, that's its main standout feature. Is this the first front mounted rake you've ever had?
Definitely, yeah, the first rake I've had. Yeah, we looked into second-hand rear mounted, new rear mounted. Me and my dad were having a chat one day, we saw this at, I think it was Yams, and Simon came and gave us a demo and we really liked it, and utilises both ends of the tractor. My dad is, I'm sure he won't be too cross with me for him, he's getting on a bit, so you know, he's getting to a stage of life where he wants to take it a bit easier, so it cuts the job out. It helps being a little bit more efficient. Fuel's expensive, time's expensive, labour's expensive.
That's it. You've not got a second tractor, you don't have a second person driving that tractor, less diesel, and you're in control of the raking.
Exactly.
So it's fairly win-win sort of situation, really. And what model is this one in particular?
7810. So it'll stretch, I think we've got it as narrow as it will do, about 6.6 metres, but it will go out to 7.8 metres.
Right.
But it's a bloody lot of grass, 7.8
It's a big row, is it?
For a round baler, yeah.
And do you generally keep it at sort of narrowest, or?
Yeah, we do. If we're baling behind a smaller combine at, say, 17, 20 foot, I might open it up to be able to take two swaths into one if it's a light crop, like a couple of years ago with the droughty time we had. But most of the time we leave it where it is. Yeah,
and in terms of that working width, is it more about the shape of the swath, the size of the swath, rather than how much you're grabbing, really?
Yeah, exactly. It's getting the size of the bales, the shoulder of the bales right, you know, and making good solid cornered bales, so they wrap well and stack well.
That's it. And how long have you had this one?
I think we got it in 2019, so we're coming, I think this is our 4th season.
So obviously we've heard quite a few reasons, good reasons why you've gone for a front mounted rake. There's other sort of one-pass sort of raking systems on the market. There's kind of rakes that fit between the tractor and the baler. What was it about this one that sort of attracted you to this particular one from Abimac?
It's tried and tested machinery, isn't it? You know, we're used to seeing them on the back, you know, and it's the same principle, it's just front mounted.
Yeah.
You know, it's I thought it would be harder to drive than it is, but it is actually quite handy. You know, it looks a behemoth, but it isn't as bad as it looks. It really is quite manoeuvrable, decent down the road. It just ticks the right boxes for us.
What about the actual quality of bales? Because end of the day, that's the important thing. Would you say it makes better bales for, you know, raking? I mean, you couldn't get the timing any better for the raking because it's just in front of the baler. So would you say you're benefiting that way in terms of quality of bales as well?
With it being straight in front of the baler, there's no chance of getting caught out with a shower in between the two operations. You go when you want it to go. It is, as soon as you think it's right in the field, it's there and it's in the bale. It's straight away. You can make a really nice swath with it. There's no blowing around with weather conditions, so it's presented to the baler properly, and it just fills we've set it so it's just a sniff wide in the bale chamber, and it packs the corners in. We don't get saggy sided bales or anything like that. It makes a really good job.
That's it.
Really
you can pretty much do it exactly how you want it.
Yeah. There are downsides, like you can't swerve around, because wherever the rake goes, the baler follows. Corners, for example, are a pain because naturally your baler cuts the corner, so you have to row the corner up with your bed lifted, and then when you're doing the middle of the field, you swing round that way and catch the corners and tidy up as you're going along.
That's it.
So it is ideally, it's a game of straight lines. It's making curves into straight lines.
And speaking of the swath presentation to the baler, because obviously as soon as you rake up, it's quite a fluffy swath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Normally, the swath has time to settle a bit, and it goes under and maybe in the baler a little bit easier, under the tractor a bit easier. What's this like in terms of having that fluffy swath, then going under the tractor and then fed into the baler?
It feeds well with the roller on the back, which was an addition year before last, I think, or an upgrade. Really, it just helps it push down, and then it'll slide under the tractor, and it's presented well. We very rarely have blockages unless it's the wombat on the seat that's done something wrong.
That's it.
Yeah, that's most of the problems with the operation, is the person behind the steering wheel.